Welcome to the Cult of Comics podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Brown, and today we are joined by the usuals. That's right, we got Sean Walsh and Josh Craven. How we doing, boys?
The usuals,
That's
as
up.
in Tyler's court-appointed psychologist, and we're just here to monitor him.
Oh my god, it finally comes to fruition. It all
No,
makes sense
Tyler
now.
has a psychologist help him, and then me and you just beat him back down, so he just stays the same.
Yeah.
We gotta level him out.
I don't get too high, don't get too low.
lows.
It just kind of it meets in the middle ground of me just hating myself. Yeah, that's exactly it. Thank you very much for that. Welcome to the Cult of Comics. If you've never been on the show before, this is a comic book media podcast, and we're going to talk about some comic books this week. That's right. Starting off right now, today is Sunday, November 14th. We're going to talk about What's the Furthest Place from Here, #1 by Matt Rosenberg and Tyler Boss. And this is an interesting-ish book.
It's a thick boy.
I just want to mention something before we get started on the actual issue, is they aren't credited as writer and artist on this, they're credited as storytellers.
Yes. Yes. That does seem to be the case.
They made a lot of covers for this.
Yes.
It's,
Two,
I
three,
guess...
4.
When you guys were highlighting this, I was hoping for this to be a little bit more than what it was. I like Tyler Boss as an artist, and I like the concept of this, but I guess I'm just confused about what exactly it is that I'm reading, other than, a bunch of punks and a pregnant chick.
Lord of the Flies.
Basically.
Yeah, it was strange. I feel like the bits I liked, I really liked, and then the other bits I didn't like were because I just didn't understand it. I don't feel there's... Well, there was a lot that sort of set that wasn't explained, like future mysteries, like all these rival gangs and stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah. And I feel like I felt very lost while reading it, and that kind of stopped me from enjoying it, even though I know it'll probably read better on a reread, maybe.
Yeah, there are certain rules that I've kind of picked up on. Like, not only is it like a post-apocalyptic, but there's some sort of thing where babies get dropped off, adults get taken away. There's these two strangers that kind of run everything. Don't really communicate, but they're there, kind of like Slender Man almost.
They did have that kind of
aesthetic. And there
is
some faraway city that you could go to that...
Yeah, because it's a group of kids. How many of them are there? There's 10 of them,
9.
And then another one shows up.
10,
9?
10, 11, yeah.
Yeah, they've got all the names on the credits page at the beginning.
Yeah,
and
they do.
More show up for the party that they have later on.
But
this isn't like
taking refuge in... Yeah, they've been alive throughout this apocalypse.
Yeah.
Because one of them mentioned she was a baby.
So-and-so was dropped off, as a baby.
Yeah.
And they were dropped off as babies. So there's just this sort of cyclical nature of cycling people through. And you can see that written on the wall of people getting things slow. Ian was here, and then that Ian gets crossed out and it moves on to the next person and the next person and the next person until where we are now.
Yeah. And they're all taking refuge in this old record store.
And they're still digging through it as if it's just day one or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they kind of have this ritual set up of they choose a record that represents them. Yeah. And then when they die, when they're taken away, the record gets burned as a funeral rite.
Josh, you mentioned Lord of the Flies, but I actually wanted to mention this. This is a combination to me of... I definitely see that, but I also see... Warriors from the 1980s, that old cult film.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention too many.
What was the other one? There was an old punk movie as well that stars Emilio Estevez, Repo Man. It kind of reminded me of that as well.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Logan's Run, or
there was
you can't be... There's nobody older than 25 or something. You reach a certain age and you basically get I don't know, eliminated.
I can't think of the other movie, but there's another old 80s punk film that is not coming to mind what the name of it is. It's hardcore. No, it doesn't matter. It kind of reminds me of that as well. And Matt Rosenberg is pretty well known as being a big fan of traditional punk and hardcore, so it makes sense.
Oh yeah, you can just tell by the haircuts.
Oh yeah,
the little kind of emojis that we see of the people at the very first page.
Mm-hmm. in a lot of ways, I really like the character design for these characters, and that definitely makes me,
They
you
all
know,
have a
Yeah.
unique look that makes them
Yeah.
recognizable.
yes.
How much
Like,
of
I don't-
Deadly? How much of Deadly Class have you guys read?
None.
The first 3 or 4 trades, I would say.
Yeah, I get that sort of Reagan era punk. I think Reagan is even written down. Reagan Youth is written on one of the bathroom walls.
Yeah, well, it's also the name of the first trade, and it's a double entendre use because the origin of the first main character is about his parents dying because of Reagan, essentially.
No, I mean like here in What's the Furthest Place from Here in the bathroom
Oh,
wall.
well, that's
It
a
says
band.
Reagan Youth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
But
Reagan Youth
it
was an
seems
actual
like
band from
you
the
got
1980s.
yeah, you got Hole and Oates and a bunch of other bands from the 80s. So the apocalypse happened somewhere right after that, but we don't know how long it's been.
No clue whatsoever. There's a lot that you can appreciate about this. I guess I just don't know if the plot necessarily moved along well enough for me to go, man, I loved this. You know what I mean?
No, but I feel
Yeah.
it set up a lot. It introduced us to the characters, and what this was focusing on was building up this world. They're in this record store taking refuge. It set up. There's one point where their former friend who left to go find this mythical city, he comes back and he's been attacked by one of the rival gangs.
Yeah.
And we meet this rival gang who they've all got like these weird pig masks on.
It makes me think of Dr. Pig or Professor Pig, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. I see that. But it's just very creepy. Like you walk out on the street and they're like under an underpass. And there's just what does it remind me of? Something like Walking Dead where there's just all the walkers there when they come around a corner.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. I think my favorite character in this is probably the young black female with the really awesome leather jacket.
With the nose piercing,
Yeah.
that would be Alabama.
Oh, that's her actual name? I thought it was just a nickname.
It probably
Well,
is.
they
a
all have
nickname.
names at the front page, so she is known as Alabama.
I
The
hope
guy
no
that died
one's
was Slug.
Yeah, I hope no one's parents actually call their child Slug.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you can name your kid Florida or Georgia, I guess you can name your kid Alabama.
Dallas.
Dallas. Debbie does Dallas. Or, in this case, Dallas
did.
does Debbie. She did do
I
Dallas.
can't remember what it was from, but I saw there was some skit where they were like, "Oh, Ron Howard gives his kids the middle name of where they were conceived."
Yeah.
It's like Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah. There was the Vince Vaughn film Four Christmases where each son was named after the city they were conceived in. Reese Witherspoon was in that.
Really?
Yeah, she hated it.
Huh. Interesting.
She was very much practice the script and get it right. He was, let's just fuck around and see
Find
what
out.
sounds good. Fuck around and find out. Yeah.
Fuck around. That's like it's like the motto of this generation, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when before they meet the gang, we're introduced to the strangers, which, like you said, they have a Slenderman look. What do we think they are? Because they seem to be like sort of the leaders. They bring the children, they take the adults away.
Yeah.
Kind of the wardens of the area that they live in. Because they have access to everything. Like the one door in the record store key.
they mention.
Yeah. They just pull a key out of nowhere and just walk right in. They're like, that door doesn't unlock.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the what do they call them? The strangers can just come and go as they please.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, after they meet the gang and they're fighting, I really like the artistic style where it's a 9-panel grid format, and in every other panel, it's the kid who came back, like breathing.
Slug.
Yeah, Slug.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out what I was looking at.
Yeah, it's a little strange, but the first few panels are just like his stomach rising and falling as he breathes. But then it's intercutting it with the gangs fighting. And I just thought artistically it looked very cool.
Yeah. There's a conversation on the rooftop between Sid and the stutterer. And they're talking about, he mentions in passing, like, hey, do you remember so-and-so's funeral? And yeah, I guess I was little then, so you would have been a baby. So we know at least that there's been a great extensive period of time for how long this has happened. But
Well, they've
Yeah, they've
lost
been
a
born
lot
in
of
this
knowledge,
world.
certain knowledge that
Yeah.
isn't passed on. Like they don't even know how babies are made.
Yeah, because that was something I wanted to ask at the beginning when she first.
She doesn't even know that she's pregnant. She just knows that
Yeah, because
she
she's like,
she thinks she's sick.
yeah, because the guy's like throwing up blood in the sink, and she's like, "Oh, are you sick too?" As she like rubs her stomach.
He wasn't throwing up. He lost
Or
it too.
he lost a tooth, and then he had like blood pouring down his face.
yeah,
He's trying to clean that. You know, it's just her stomach is. What did she say? She says something about her stomach. We're gonna figure out what's going on with you. I forget. It doesn't say it anywhere. I think she says something about her stomach getting bigger.
it's just very strange to me that the world that has been built into this. I don't know. I want to like it more than I do, honestly.
Yeah.
That's really what it just comes down to for me. Because again, it should be things that I like: post-apocalyptic world, a bunch of punks.
Punks versus the preps.
But yeah.
Although the next page after you see the other gang, you see them silhouetted, so they're almost in black with red neckties, and I almost think of like My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
I don't know. I don't know, guys.
But yeah, you get to the end, and the strangers take Slug away.
Yeah.
Sid.
Slug. Well, at the very end, they take Sid away too.
Yes. Or supposedly,
so
we
there's
don't
this
know
whole
where
thing
she's gone.
where Slug knows more than everybody
Yeah.
else. He's like, "Can I feel your belly?" And she's like, "Why? Why do you want to feel my stomach?" She's like, "I guess so."
Yeah, he found the city and he learned about life.
It's just
So I think that's all the proof you need to have to know that he did find something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Because
don't
he
know.
has this outside knowledge that the others aren't privy to.
I wish that I could tell you that I liked this more than I did. I wish I could tell you that there was more about this that was as enticing as the art. I guess I'm just not a fan of Matt Rosenberg, which is unfortunate because I should like him by all accounts, by logic, you know.
Yeah.
I like this a lot more than his DC stuff I've read.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will definitely give him that. This is
Yeah.
also 50 issues or 50 pages.
56.
it was-
If you don't include the if you include the chapter title pages.
Yeah. It's a
But
lot.
$5 for 50 some pages is pretty good.
It's not a bad price.
But yeah, I just want to talk about the ending. They have like this
Sure.
big party because Slug died, and they'll get blackout drunk, and Sid gets locked on the roof.
I don't think she's
And-
locked on there.
Is she not? The way they were like, the guy with the mohawk was like, "Sid, I'm sorry for leaving you up here," as he like
Leaving you
up.
on watch. Yeah.
Ah,
but she wasn't
okay.
stuck up there.
Okay. But yeah, there's a broken knife up there and some blood, and it looks like she's run off.
Mm-hmm. We saw the strangers appear outside as well after what's his face went to bed.
You're right, we did.
Oberon.
Yeah.
So as soon as Oberon goes down, the two strangers are outside looking up at Sid. If you look, you have that 2-page spread right at the end. If you look
Yeah.
off to the right, it's almost like a spaceship that's
I
crashed.
saw that. I was trying to work out
Kinda
what
weird.
it is.
That's the Millennium Falcon.
It looks similar.
Like we have the Millennium Falcon at home, says Mom.
Yeah. Is that when they're staring off at the lights in the long distance?
The very final page
The final
where they
2-page
say,
spread.
"God fucking damn it, Sid."
Yeah. Way off to the right on the other side of the highway.
Okay.
I think we've
Yeah,
said enough
so-
about it. They do mention a lot of the music they were listening to.
Well, this was also going to be the comic that was going to be released with vinyl, so I imagine that there's
But
going to be.
unfortunately, because of Adele, we
Yeah,
didn't get that.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
two tracks though.
there was
Two
probably
tracks on a 7-inch.
yeah, this was probably going to be a lot more, like including the vinyl, or at least with the song code if it had come with that. But
Yeah,
I mean,
because I tried finding the songs and I found the names for them, but they're exclusive for this.
of course it is.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
All right.
Yeah, ratings then.
Yeah, let's just talk about ratings. You guys go ahead.
I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Really?
Ooh.
I really liked it. I had a lot
Yeah.
of fun with it. I thought the characters they had personalities. They all had different personalities. The designs
I
were
thought
cool.
you would have gone a bit higher.
The world
I was going to go for like an 8.75.
Oh.
And I thought I would have been lower than you.
I think there were problems with it, and I think there were bits where I didn't know what was going on and found it a bit confusing. And I feel like with some of those answers, it could be higher on a reread. But at the minute, I really enjoyed it. And I think it's set
How
up a
many
cool
issues
mystery
is
going
this supposed to be?
It's ongoing.
Ongoing? Oh, then maybe I'm going to go with an 8.5. I want answers now, not later.
I mean, I don't know. I'm going to give this a 7.5.
That's fine.
I mean, it's just, again, it should be all of the things that I like. I mean, there's a lot of things to love about this character design. The characters are unique, like you said, but I don't know. I just didn't really find a lot of the conversation all that captivating, to be honest with you. I felt like it was kind of lingering.
I thought the pacing was just about right.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, we can move on then. Let's move on to Stillwater.
Okay, so Stillwater number 11 by Zdarsky and Ramon K. Perez.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first issue of the third arc, and this takes place a year after the finale of the last arc.
Mm-hmm.
So in this time, the kids have taken over the town. The judge was executed at the end of the last arc. And this issue, I had to reread a few pages several times.
Yeah.
Because we're introduced to a load of new characters that I didn't recognize, because the kids have changed the way the town runs. They're a lot more open to the outside world now. They let people kind of
Yeah.
They let people bring in family members.
Mm-hmm. But it's not working out.
No.
They got their supply guy that comes in, brings supplies once a month, but he's getting wise to what's going on because they're not aging.
Yeah.
I feel like you could set that up every 10 years, find a new person, or every 5 years. That's not a hard problem to fix.
No, because once you reach a
judge
certain
probably
age,
would have fixed that.
Yeah.
So that part is confusing to me. I don't know.
But yeah, considering this is only a year later, how has the guy already clocked on that?
Well, I think their supply guy has been going for 10 years. This is something they've had set up already.
Right.
It's just he's starting to figure out that nobody has aged. I don't see the problem with noticing that there's new faces. Like this whole, I don't know if you want to call it a B plot with Dale and Dina.
Yeah, I didn't know who they were. That was why I was so confused, because she's explaining to him about supplies being brought into the town. And I was just kind of like, but he lives there. He should know.
She's lived there for a long time. Dale, her baby brother, has grown up outside of the city, and she's finally brought him to live there. But he's not working out, so we got to get rid of him. I don't know. I didn't expect Gallon to be so trigger happy. Like it seemed like he was going to be a more level-headed person.
But this reminds me of something, and I can't place what story it is. But
Lord of the Flies?
No. Like they take out the old boss thinking they'll be better. Oh God, what is it? Tyler, have you read Omega Men?
Tyler, we lost your sound.
Yeah, Omega Man. Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me of that. They take out the old leaders thinking they'll be better, but then they're a bit more ruthless. Like,
oh my God.
They take it too far in the opposite direction.
Have you seen this very obscure TV show called Breaking Bad?
Yeah, because in Omega Men, like the resistance were fighting off the religious leaders, the oligarchy. But at the end, once it's taken over, you find out that the resistance became too ruthless along the way, and they end up becoming bad, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen some different things where a similar
Yeah, I've seen
situation
a few
happens.
things. It was the
Meet
plot
the
of
new
Far Cry
boss,
4.
same as the old boss.
Yeah.
Which is an obvious commentary on the U.S. military's and CIA's involvement in foreign affairs and implementing rebellions and leaderships and dictatorships.
Banana republics.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
But yeah, Galen.
so little
full-on
Timmy,
orders.
whatever his name is, has been practicing shooting. Tommy
Yeah.
has been practicing his shooting, but it's
And
just
it's still
not
not
up to
great.
snuff. Yeah. I don't know why you need to sneak a cell phone in instead of just being there to talk.
Yeah. I don't know.
So yeah.
Yeah, they send the old sheriff. I've forgotten his name. Ted. He gets sent to just straight on kill the Dale. It's too many names.
Yeah. It's fine.
But Tanya, the new sheriff, is there waiting for him. But she gets taken out. She gets shot in the throat.
Yeah, one of the other Marines.
Yeah. So they get taken, Dale and Dina.
I think just Dale.
Oh, just Dale.
Yeah, I think Dina gets left. She's part of the town.
Oh, okay.
Now there's room for somebody else to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really care for this issue that well. Like, I was kind of hoping that they would do more world building now that they're leaving and bringing people into the town.
Yeah.
But it just kind of feels like more of the same. We're just trying to keep this kind of small town politics thing going.
I'm still enjoying it. I think it's the last couple of issues have definitely been stronger because it did go through a point where it was a bit weak.
I don't know. This feels pretty weak to me.
I'm honestly confused why you guys are still reading it, because it feels like every time it gets brought up on the show now, it's kind of this same conversation.
Well, I liked it up till the last issue, but I'm not really feeling this one. I might drop it.
Okay.
I mean, I know Sean's not going to because he's all obsessed with Daddy Zdarsky.
Of course. I'm buying every variant.
Yeah,
I'm getting 6 of this a week.
Yeah, I mean, Zdarsky's good. I'm not really digging Perez's art.
No, that's still very hit or miss. Some panels look really good, and then others just don't.
Anytime where he's doing like direct on faces just look weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give it a 7.5, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Maybe a little less. Call it 7.25, 7.5.
Okay, I respect that you feel that way. That's okay. Well, we can move on to regarding the matter of Oswald's body then. Let's see here. This is by Christopher Cantwell and Luca Casalanguide.
Casalanguide.
God damn it. So
let's talk about this cover real quick.
Sure.
It's a very creative cover where you've got this. I don't know if is it okay to call him a spook?
He's the cigarette smoking man from X-Files.
Yes. But he's standing over a grave, which you can see it looks like it's lined with bricks, but instead it's like a heavily redacted file with just a few words showing.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really creative cover. I mean, considering the material of the actual comic itself, it's interesting. It's funny that there's so many books out there about the conspiracy theory stuff. Obviously, this is going to be different from Department of Truth, but this is still obviously regarding the matter of Oswald's body. So, this is a story by Cantwell about a collection, a team of people that are coming together under the what's the word I'm looking for? Under the wing of this individual who is named Frank. He calls himself Frank because he likes to speak frankly.
It's a
Frank Sinatra.
It's a heist movie almost.
It's
It
They're
is.
bringing the team
I was thinking
together.
about like Ocean's 11 sort of.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. The collection of random people who all have different skills, but they're all criminals and miscreants, and they're all really terrible at everything that they do because, for God knows whatever reason, they're trying to get away from something, a part of their life. But it's like Ocean's 11 or Atlantis, a lot of really interesting characters that are kind of just thrown together for the plot in order to make this team come together. And they are hunting for Lee Harvey Oswald because of the speculation, the conspiracy theory that he's actually alive, and that the body that was buried, the one that was killed by Jack Ruby, it was a patsy or a fall guy that was meant to divert attention away from the actual Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
So this team is on a mission to hunt for Lee Harvey Oswald.
And Jack Ruby is part of this team.
Yeah, he's on the team at the end.
Yep.
Oh, I must have missed that entirely. I was too focused on
When they
Yellow
get
Rose.
to the
That's my friend Jack, and behind him is Lou. You see the shorter guy with the cowboy hat suit.
Oh,
That's Jack Ruby.
well, shoot. Well, slap my knee and call me Sally.
Yeah.
All right.
Kind of a gangster.
Kind of a gangster, a little bit.
Yeah. Did you guys ever did you read 11/22/63?
I never read it.
I've seen the miniseries and
Me
the
too.
books on my list.
Oh, I keep meaning to go to watch the miniseries, but
It was
I
really
bought
good.
the book and I listened to the book on audio, which was really nice. The whole assassination of JFK and Lee Harvey Oswald is a very like second half of the book. You know how Stephen King is, where he likes to go out on his journey and then come back to the point of the book.
Huh.
Yeah, that book is the only reason I know the date JFK died.
Yeah, basically.
So when it was like November 8th, that was like 2 weeks before he
We're
died.
getting close.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the October 55th is like the name of the group, but
Yeah.
October 55th and November 22nd don't line up.
And also, 55th is not a day of the month.
That's true. I'm just saying, like, if you kept counting the days, you didn't stop at the 31st and rolled over to November 1st. If you kept counting that as days of October, add 22 to 31, you get 53. So I'm trying to figure out what would happen 2 days after JFK was assassinated.
Is that when Lee Harvey Oswald got assassinated?
Probably.
Well, hang on.
That's probably
because if it's October 55th and you carry over those 22 days, or no, it's 20. Yeah, you're right. That's weird. That doesn't make
Well,
any sense.
it'll
I think
be-
Sean's got it.
Yeah, it'll be when Lee Harvey Oswald died.
Oh,
yeah.
it was. Okay, cool.
Was it actually?
It was only a day or two after
Yeah.
JFK was assassinated.
Lee Harvey Oswald. I will find out.
No, don't bother Googling that. We're right.
Yeah, you're
Let
correct.
me have this. Yes.
So on the 24th.
Yep, correct.
All right. Well, that makes sense.
All right. Well, there you go.
Uh,
I don't really have an issue with this book. I guess it's. I mean, I had a lot of fun with it to an extent,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I will be honest with you,
It's-
it definitely felt like bah, information dump.
Yeah.
And
it is. It's a good start, but it's really where it goes is what's really going to determine whether or not it's a good series.
Yeah, because I'm sold on the characters and I'm sold on the plot, but I guess I just skimmed through Buck. Honestly, I didn't pay attention to
That's
a single part
fine.
of that.
The part about Frank gets a bit repetitive where he's calling the police on each of these
Yeah.
people. So he's got some dirt on each of them, but is also kind of promising them just tons of money, a new life, all the things you could ever dream of. Like he's
Yeah.
promising them all sorts of stuff, but also dangling a threat over top of them.
It's like, is he threatening me or is he bribing me? Maybe both.
So after the fourth person, it gets a bit repetitive.
Yeah, I still think it was definitely a lot of fun as a book.
I'm hoping
Like,
it's going to be a lot
seeing-
of fun.
Yeah, seeing this in like a heist movie setting was just
Mhm.
cool. And I'm hoping
was
it
very
gets to that
unique.
point where I hope it follows the tropes. Like as much as I want stuff to stay away from like the cliches and stuff, I hope it follows it where we think they've lost, but then they pull out that card and
Yeah.
you have that moment
Ocean's
where it all
11.
comes together. Exactly.
Here's the thing. There's a difference between cliches and tropes. Cliches are overly formulaic and do not provide anything to the audience, but a trope is something that is repetitive and it's like the cliche is in the foreground, the trope is right behind that. The trope is like the characterizing of the storyline that you're going to be able to have some prediction for and have fun with, because you're like, hey, I can pinpoint that from a million other things.
He's threatening them and promising them so much that it's like, okay, like, is he just gonna off these people as soon as whatever this conspiracy comes to fruition, if they end up swapping the body? Like, they're all like patsies for the patsy or something.
That would be interesting. That would be an interesting little twist.
So we've got Shep, the wannabe bank robber.
Yeah.
We've got them. We've got this kind of bookended twice, where they're digging up Oswald's body in 1981, and you see a guy in a cowboy hat. He's only silhouetted, so you don't know who it is, but he just basically is narrating. It says they dig up Oswald's body, they got the coffin, and he says, and suddenly my whole world could go straight to shit.
I think it's got to be Shep.
Yeah,
because he's the next character you see, and he's wearing exactly the same hat.
I think that's what they want you to think, but maybe Buck gets his hat. Maybe that's Buck's hair.
It's the real Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, that too. So like I said, we've got several bookends. We don't get a response to this forward flash at the start of the book, but we have a sort of family tree of connections, and the only change is the field command, the vehicles, forgery, guns, and weaponry are changed to the names of the 4 people that we've picked up.
Yeah.
And then we've got this text at the front and at the back about doppelgangers and some sort of when you die and what happens to your spirit sort of thing.
I am trying to think of what kind of a comparison I can make to this right now. But before I do that, let me ask you, do you guys have any other like noticeable things? Because I'm going to save my comment for my rating, I think.
No, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a 5-issue series. This is number 1.
Sure.
So we'll get to the end pretty fast.
Would you like to do ratings?
Yeah.
Are you not going to mention your little detail first?
I'm going to mention it when I do my rating.
I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with it, and the fact that I know it's only a 5-issue mini sort of makes me more excited for where it's going to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Yeah, I've got a pretty good feeling about it. This is definitely in like the 8.5, 8.75 range.
Yeah, I've enjoyed what I've read from Cantwell before.
I think I'm going to give it an 8. And I think the reason why is because I had a lot of fun with this, but there were certain points where it almost feels like you're being given a meal that you're going to enjoy, something that you've been familiar with, but there's maybe something off with the seasoning, or one of the side dishes is just not as impactful as the actual main dish itself. There's small snippets on the side or parts of it that kind of remove some of the feelings for it. And for me, I want to be able to enjoy the whole kit and caboodle, the entire experience of it. And I think that I got taken out of it with the whole sequence with Buck. There's a lot of information dumping with it, which normally is not an issue for me, but for some reason this felt very wordy and kind of unnecessary. I'm excited for the ending of it, and I know it's a 5-issue, so I respect that. I'm going to give it that 8.0 just because of that. And would you guys like to have a conversation about Robin and Batman?
You guys can. I didn't get it.
Okay. Well,
Terrible.
Oh, it was terrible. It was the worst.
No, I said Josh is terrible.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
This is the new Jeff Lemire, Dustin Nguyen comic book with DC. Instead of focusing on the story of Batman, this is the experience of Robin growing up with
Robin
Batman and
year
becoming Robin. Yes, essentially. And I didn't expect to like this as much as I did. This was a fantastic read.
It's Lemire and Nguyen.
Because I'm just so burnt out with the amount of Batman books that are constantly coming out. I mean, you got this Joker, Imposter. Me. You haven't read much.
So which Robin is this?
Dick Grayson. Yeah.
Good old Dick.
Good old Dick. You can't go wrong with Dick.
And it ain't a party with old Dick.
I loved the fact that they did not shy away from making Batman kind of an asshole. And
But I saw a post on Reddit where people were like, "Oh, this may like," as I'm reading this just feels like Frank Miller's All-Star Batman. I heard that and I was like, but here he is an asshole, but he acknowledges it and he has a reason for it.
yeah, he's not just going around and be like, "You're stupid. Are you dense or something? I'm the
Why are
goddamn
you
Batman."
dense? Are you retarded?
Like that was basically a comedy at this point. The All-Star Batman thing was so bad it's hilarious.
Yeah.
This was like thoughtful. The sequence where he shows Robin his new costume that he was gonna give him, and he's like, I don't understand. Loved that. Strictly because he is like, I have no idea how to be a father. I have no idea how to relate to this child, even though we have so much in common. It has a lot of depth and layers to the psychology of these characters.
There's one scene where Alfred's like, it's right after they got back from their training mission and Bruce is angry at Dick.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
Alfred gives him a look and Bruce is like, don't say it, Alfred. He's like, say what, Master Bruce? You're going to say, but he is a child, Master Bruce. Ah, yes. And then Alfred replies saying, ah, yes. And then you would say, the child died with his parents. He needs to be a soldier or some such.
Yes. And then Batman responds with, well, that's true. And it's great to make Alfred like so understanding of the mindset of these characters, and to have Batman also have that similar mindset of like, I know what you're going to say. Well, I know what you're going to say because we know each other, but we're still figuring out this kid and like the dynamics of what this is. Because the dynamic duo isn't set up yet.
Yeah, you got to remember, this is a Bruce who's only had Alfred in his life for the last 30 years.
Yep.
He grows as a character when he's introduced to Grayson, and he has that arc where he becomes a family man. He learns to accept others, and he's not there yet.
Mm-hmm. How great was the end with Waylon Crocodile?
Yeah. So earlier on in the issue, they fight Killer Croc, and he seems very caught off guard. And he's like, he sees Robin's costume, and he's like, those colors. But then Bruce interjects and just beats him.
Yeah.
Yeah, just beats
Big
him.
fight happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this whole thing.
And but then at the end, we get this flashback to Dick Grayson when he was at the Flying Graysons. Oh no, sorry. We have Waylon wearing his big trench coat thing, like trying to look normal, even though he's like a 9 foot tall hulking beast.
He's basically doing what the Thing does in New York when he's trying to get around. The trench coat and the hat.
Yeah. You know, in the original movie where he goes to his girlfriend's house, he's wearing like the stupid costume. It's like, it's not discreet at all.
No, but you know what? As cheesy and as bad as that first film was, I love that they did so much comic accurate stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, then he's walking through the old abandoned circus ground, and he gets to this little tank, says, meet Killer Croc, the monstrous crocodile man. Mm-hmm. And he has a flashback to when he was a lot younger and a lot skinnier. And he sees Dick Grayson like walk past with his parents.
Mm-hmm. And he actually goes up to one of the old Flying Graysons posters and is just like staring at it, and that's how it ends. And that has not revealed anything other than the fact that Croc was in a circus, the same circus as the Graysons, which was the Haley Circus, something or other.
Haley Circus, yeah.
Yeah, because the dog in Grayson right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't really give you an explicit amount of detail, but just making that little connection and really humanizing Croc. I love when they humanize Croc.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
A lot of Croc stuff lately, haven't they?
Yeah, a lot actually.
There was one scene in, it was one of Tomasi's Detective Comics issues, maybe last year.
Yeah.
And it was a Killer Croc issue. And at the end, when they're sort of in the prison van, Bruce calls him Waylon, and Killer Croc's like, thanks. And Bruce is like, for what? And then he's like, for remembering my name.
Yeah.
And
like, he's one of those characters that is so
he's
like,
a victim of circumstance.
Yes, absolutely.
He had to turn.
Well, if you give each of the rogues gallery a chance, they would all tell you they're a victim of circumstance.
But he's literally, he was born a freak. Like, you would not give him a job, would you, Josh?
Well, what about the Penguin? Penguin was born a freak, wasn't he?
Well, no,
he was a little person.
That's
he got
pretty much
fat.
it. Yeah.
He had
So-
the webbed hands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
no,
imagine,
that's
imagine your
only in
skin
the
being,
Tim Burton movie.
Oh, okay.
imagine your skin literally being alligator skin, and you're 9 foot tall
Imagine
and
being
like 300
crusty.
pounds.
Imagine Dragons. So let's see here. There was Batman Earth 1. There was the issue 1270 or 1027, sorry. That Bendis did a story with Croc. There's been the recent Batman Robin. There's been stuff in Detective Comics a while ago. But, I mean, it's been around here and there. Crocodile's definitely been... Killer Croc has been making
Regarding the
appearances.
matter of Croc's body.
Exactly.
Yeah, he when he's done well, he is one of the better villains. Along the lines
Absolutely.
of like Mr. Freeze as well. You can humanize him so much.
I loved that
was
video
the,
saying that Christoph Waltz could play him. I loved that. I want that so much.
What was the name of the Spider-Man villain? The guy turns himself into a lizard.
Is it?
I was like, there's the chameleon, you know.
The
kinda-
lizard, what do they call him?
Yeah.
Killer Croc. No, that name's
I
already
didn't want to
taken.
go assuming his identity.
You shouldn't be assuming his how he identifies. Gosh. This is everything that you would want from a Lemire book anyways, but this also gives you something. What are you laughing at?
You know how Bruce is a massive dick in this?
Yeah.
Do we think this is how Lemire acts when his kid wants to go play or
Oh
something?
my god.
Dick to dick.
And his wife's
Don't be a
looking
dick
at
to dick.
his wife's looking at me. He's like, "Don't say it."
I love that you thought that up. You fucking sick fuck. I'm too excited about this. I'm gonna rate this a 9.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm going 9.25.
Yeah. You know what?
Ooh.
9.35.
9.5.
You bastard.
It was perfect, huh?
I loved this. I thought that this was such a
I just don't want
fantastic read.
Tyler voting higher than me.
Mm.
It's a great
That's
read.
why I said you got to write down your rating before we get into this, or else we're going to impact each other.
We're going to do into a ratings war.
I cannot fault this book
Really,
one
genuinely.
bit. Yeah.
I mean, outside of maybe some issues art-wise with the just details of the outlines of the face.
Yeah, he's a very
most-
stylized artist.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's such minor complaints that I can't like really downgrade the comic for it whatsoever.
Oh, I have a complaint.
Oh, what's up?
It's only 3 issues long.
I mean, yeah, but they're oversized, so
Yeah,
at
but
least there's
still.
that. Shall we move on to Joker?
All right.
Hell yeah.
All right. So you guys actually read this.
Yeah, Joker number...
You almost skipped over it. We almost
Jo-
didn't talk about this, but I told you
almost
those
didn't.
5 or 6 pages that you needed to read, and that changed your mind.
Joker number 9 by James Tynion IV and Steffano Rafaele. This is a step-in artist, which is
I liked
interesting.
more.
Really?
Than-
I couldn't
than
even
March.
tell that, I guess the art is different. I didn't even pay attention.
The people are a lot less wrinkly.
They are less dehydrated.
Yes.
You're right. It's not Gilliam March.
Yeah.
I
I actually
took a week off.
March not doing I thought that Stefano Raphael did a really good job of drawing out Joker in this way more than I thought I would enjoy it for a guest artist. I actually wasn't gonna read it this week. I was gonna read this like tomorrow or something, but no, you're right, this is an impactful issue. This is a big reveal of everything. So this is going to be, as you know, that we're talking about the comic books. You know that we're going to spoil some things on the show here, guys. So if you have not read this book yet, take this time now. Skip ahead maybe 5-6 minutes
Just look at the
because we're going to talk
timestamps.
about some things. Yeah.
So we're tying a lot of things together
Yes.
and also kind of casting forward.
Yes. I didn't think that I was going to be as interested with what was going to happen with Talon until the end of this, and I was like, oh, because I honestly forgot about Talon entirely.
Mhm.
Like that whole thing, I was just like, oh, I know I'm kind of skipping ahead here, but I just wanted to throw that out there. I didn't think that was going to be anything really big. I mean, I knew that what's her dick who hired Gordon was going to, eventually tie everything together, but I didn't think that this was going to happen.
Yeah, I think we should have seen some of this coming.
I forgot he was dead, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, he's not. He is dead. What we learned about Lady Bane probably should have made us realize what was going on here. They're making clones of people, of superheroes. So they made a clone of Bane. They made her a female. They made her controllable. So they've made a clone of what's his name, John or Jason?
James. Is it a clone
James.
or did they just resurrect
James
him?
I think they made a clone of James Jr.
No, I don't think so. And the reason why I say that is because that's not really the Talon's MO. They straight up raise people from the dead.
No, it's not it's not the Talon that's doing it. It's the Syndicate. The Syndicate I think the Syndicate was involved in the making of Lady Bane. They control her. They knew
Lady Bane, sure.
The Syndicate are just a BTEC Court of Owls.
Sure, but they've made they helped with the production of Lady Bane. Who's to say they're not, their service is designer clones.
Yeah,
they're making clones of people for the Samsons to eat. It's tying everything together. That's how everybody's connected here.
I hear you, but the thing is, the Court of Owls in specific, why would they're going up against the Syndicate in a lot of ways anyways. If anything, they're opposing each other.
Yeah, because in issue 1 it's that the Court of Owls are involved in this.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And they directly are, like, when they raise
Well, maybe
Talons.
That's the even bigger reveal is that they're not actually bringing people back from the dead. They've just been cloning people and saying they have the power to resurrect people.
I mean, I could see that.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, that's a possibility.
But they showed not only the clones, but that they've tried to clone the Joker and kind of failed and not gotten it right. But the Joker says it wasn't him that basically annihilated Arkham. So possibly they did get it right, and there's a Joker clone going around.
I chalked it up more to maybe they were making the clones because they wanted to be able to just have their own off-brand Joker to manipulate it and control at this point, not one that was going to be floating.
Not just that. I mean, the guy goes on to say, we're creating the next brand, the next generation of villains. We're going to make the next whole rogues gallery.
Yeah.
Not just as clones, but this is our testing of that theory. So they go with one of the greater ones, Joker, and say, we're going to make a clone of Joker and make him even more deadly.
Okay.
I always kind of assumed, though, that the Arkham attack was Scarecrow.
Yeah, I did too.
Because he's the bad guy.
I thought there was a Joker sighting at the.
It was Joker
Arkham
gas.
Attack. But I felt like they had like video footage of Joker at the attack.
Well,
like
he
leaving the premise.
There was that whole sequence where he like ostracized Bane and was reaming him for killing Alfred and not, doing it in front of Batman, or, really taking the time to really give that gut punch and draw out the blood for Batman. So I mean, there was that, and then there was the Joker gas. I mean, it seems more evident
the footage was from a different date.
Possibly. I don't know.
Maybe. We'll see.
I mean, this is a mystery story, so for all we know, this is all stuff that's going to be revealed later. So
yeah, this is issue 9, and issue 10 should be the end of the arc.
I don't know, because Tynion's run's going to 14.
14. Okay, I thought they did like 5 issue arcs. I know we had a.
Oh, we got an annual as well.
Yeah,
we had an annual. We had like an intermediate issue. We're going to have 2 more intermediate issues. So I don't know if this was the end of the arc. Maybe they were doing 4 issue arcs, or a 5 and then a 4 or something.
Something.
Oh yeah. Well, we did 4, an intermediate issue, another 4. This was issue 9.
Yeah.
And we still have 5 more issues with Tynion. Maybe he does the intermediate and then the 4 after that.
I mean, if this is going to be an ongoing, I'm going to be surprised because it feels like a Tynion book more than anything.
I reckon Matthew Rosenberg can take over at the end.
I could see that.
Because he's co-writing. He's co-written a few issues. He's been writing the backups, or
he's been writing Puzzle Box.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. No, I mean that makes sense. I don't really have any complaints about this issue. It definitely has a different tone that I'm used to with the book, I
The
guess,
ending
to
was
an
brutal.
extent. Yeah,
That guy
jeez.
gets a knife through the throat, and then Jimbo gets a knife through the chest.
Yeah, I don't see why you would kill
Yeah.
him off though.
Jim's
I
not
mean,
dead.
yeah, I wouldn't.
No,
I
not
wouldn't.
Jimbo.
Oh.
The doctor. Like the doctor's been providing you with all these meats. Oh no, you revealed the secret. He's still useful.
No,
Yeah,
they wanted to get rid of him because they didn't really like his meat
They
anyway.
didn't like his lab meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
They
still,
were-
why get rid of him if you're?
Well, no. But do you remember when they're the ladies interacting with him, and then the guy with the mask is holding him? They talk about how
Oh, because the syndicate let Billy die. This is their
Yeah.
retribution. They'll still maintain their relationship with the syndicate because we can get away with this.
yeah,
They'll let us pass on this.
that's pretty much it. That's the only reason that they did it. I mean, they're all just psychos at the end of it. Nothing makes sense. Doesn't matter.
Wonder
Who
if I
knows?
could get a Chip Zdarsky clone made by them.
I mean, I would request it. It would be good for you to spoon at night. Something
You could
to
get
hold.
like a
I
Chip
could get-
Zdarsky love doll.
I could get two and make them spoon each other.
You should do. Oh my God! What if you get a Chip Zdarsky body pillow? Bring it to the con. Get him to sign it.
That would be something he likes.
He
Or
would. He
He would
hates.
love that.
he would be really uncomfortable and be like, "Okay, well, that's nice. You let me sign that." Go
Oh
away."
man, this is the point where I knew fans had gone too far.
In his Ask Me Anything,
He
was
just
asked-
under his breath, he's like, "You fucking guy."
you son of a bitch, I'm in.
He'd bring me
Shall
up at his
we?
next therapy session.
All right. Is there anything else we wanted to bring up, Josh? Usually, you're the guy who points out a bunch of stuff.
I'd already pointed out a bunch of stuff. I already
Cool.
put out my theories.
Excellent. All right. Well, I guess we can move on to ratings then.
I'll give it a 7.75.
Oh, really?
That's
That's lower than I thought.
It's still a good score. It was a fine issue. It just didn't blow me away.
Yeah, that's
it
fair.
blew
The,
me
the way I
away.
see it, if the 7 range is good, the 8 range is great, and the 9 range is damn near perfect.
Sure. Okay. Fair enough. Josh?
Yeah, no, I thought this was in the 8 range. Maybe 8.25.
I'll give it an 8 at that point. I think that's enough for me. Okay. I guess that means that we can move on to Justice League Last Ride. So,
Yeah, so we didn't speak about the last issue either,
well,
but
I mean,
Is this
Like
not
what-
the last one?
this is the last one.
But I mean, we didn't speak about the previous one.
I mean, there wasn't a whole there was things that happened, but it
Well,
wasn't.
there was a
like,
big
oh my
reveal in
God.
the last issue.
Yeah, but I mean, we knew that it was going to wrap up this issue anyways, so we can talk about it. The revelation about Darkseid being, I don't even know how to describe it.
He
How would
was-
you describe it?
Possessing Hal Jordan.
Yeah, which is
Huh.
strange. He was using the power battery, willpowers.
It was kind of a parallax situation.
Yeah, except with Darkseid.
Yeah.
Which actually makes sense considering the costume of Hal Jordan in this. I
Yeah,
thought that was more of
parallax.
like a tribute to.
Alan Scott, Guardian.
Yes, thank you very much, Alan Scott in the
Kingdom
Come
Come.
storyline. Yep, but I was wrong.
You guys finish each other's sandwiches.
Satan will rise. I had fun with this.
This
It
was
was
a
a
lot of
fun-
fun. It was not a groundbreaking emotional story, but it was fun.
I could totally see Justice League Universal spawning out of this. And I get that this is an outside of the universe kind of like side story that we get to have, but I can definitely see people taking this story and then trying to build something off of it.
So it wasn't their last ride then.
It was the last ride of the Justice League by themselves.
Well, Bruce gets impaled by a kryptonite knife.
Mhm.
Well,
We
that's
find
not
out
going to do anything to him. He's not weak to kryptonite.
That's silly.
it full on hits him like just under his right pec.
Yeah.
But yeah, spoiler
he's
alert, he
not.
lives.
Yeah, because he's immune to kryptonite.
Yeah. I liked
I like the
the-
John Jones stuff where he's
Yes.
still alive in the green, in the green
Owen
energy.
energy source, basically, and he becomes the new Guardian, essentially.
I am the Lantern.
Yeah,
I
I loved Hal Jordan blaming himself,
Yes.
and he sort of reclaims the green energy, and he uses his energy to recreate the entire Justice League. Every single member that's ever been is fighting with them.
Wow.
Yeah. Zdarsky really made everybody OP in this storyline. It was very
But
impressive.
still kind of grounded as well.
Yeah, at the same time. I really enjoyed the final sequence of having Hal Jordan just be like, fuck you, blows up Darkseid.
Yeah, that was fucking... So Darkseid sending a load of Omega nukes through boom tubes.
Yeah.
And Hal using all his power. He get like...
You guys are making words up.
I know, it's so ridiculous. This is the most comic booky thing ever.
Yeah. But he ends up like getting rid of all the leak he's spawned with his ring. And instead he just grabs all the nukes that are about to go through boom tubes.
Mm-hmm.
Darkseid's like...
Oh, boom tubes.
Yeah.
Sorry, your accent.
Not boob
I thought
tube.
you said boom juice.
Boom juice. So he takes the whammy nukes and throws them through the boom jukes. Yeah, that's what's going on.
We get a great scene of Wonder Woman and Supes both like punching Darkseid, like uppercutting him.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically...
Superheroes get
tail
it done.
between his legs, he runs away. But Hal's like, no, you're not getting away. And he just fucking yeets all the boom nukes at Darkseid.
Yeet.
But Darkseid like sees he's coming. He's like, "Is that plucky little Hal Jordan? Shall I destroy your life?" And then it goes from like big right into small. And just says again, and then you just see this massive explosion, and just Darkseid like shitting himself.
It was really nice to see somebody really, give that moment to Hal Jordan, because most people like to tear Hal Jordan down. Like I said, I agree with what you said. It's not a groundbreaking thing. It was a lot of fun. I mean, you can really just appreciate that this is just a side little story that you can just have fun with. Yeah. That's cool.
It's a little side piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end, they use, I forgot the name, Apocalypse as New Oa.
Yeah.
So
which is strange, but okay.
Yeah. John Jones is now a Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's bonded with New Oa, he can't leave. And they decide that the Justice League is no longer for JLA or the JLI, it's for JLU, Justice League Universal.
There's a lot of... I'm not going to say that this had a lot of Deus Ex Machina elements to it, but it definitely had a lot of something that felt...
How dare you speak ill of Chip Daddy?
I just don't think it's the best thing he's ever written. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, it's fun if you want a simple, fun story that you can laugh at and have fun with. Not something that's going to make you sit down, put the book down, and go, "What the fuck is life?" and then just stare off into the distance. But it was fun.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better. Like the Justice League has never really had a good run. Even Jeff Johns' run had a lot of problems.
Not true. Grant Morrison,
yeah, but there's not a whole lot of that. Batman, you can go Court of Owls, Long Halloween, Year One. There's so many things. Like, there's so many classic stories you can recommend for everything.
Yeah.
But with Justice League, it tends to be like, oh, there's this story, but it sets up this event. Oh, there's this, but it sets up that.
Like, if you ignore Death Metal entirely, Scott Snyder's run was still really good.
I had problems with it.
You can have problems with it, but you can still at least admit that it was, like, pretty good.
There was some really great parts in there. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the Lex Luthor Jean John's relationship, loved that. The entire buildup of Hawk Girl, loved that. Pretty much everything that happened at the beginning of the storyline.
It wasn't setting up an event. I wish it just stood on its own as an epic run.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
What event is it setting up?
Death Metal.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Justice League.
No, sorry, Scott Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I feel like this is a story I could say, like, here's a self-contained Justice League story. Like, this is
7 issues, simple, fun.
A recommendation I can have for this team.
Yeah. If you, especially somebody who's never read a Justice League book before, they can hop on this and be like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Shall we do ratings?
Story as a whole, I'm going to give it an 8.5.
I think that's generous. I'm going to give it a 7.25.
That's so low.
I I have
You're right,
higher
I actually
expectations.
I gave it a too high score. 7.75.
Look, like I said, I'm not saying that this is terribly written. It's just it's simple.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can put it. So
It's a book I would easily recommend to people.
yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to say that I couldn't recommend it to somebody. It's still fun. Okay, well, we can move on to Action Comics 1036 by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Daniel Sampere.
What a sick book.
Fucking hell.
Is it?
Oh my god.
Josh, I hate you so much.
I'm really not joking,
Like
man.
this.
Of people I think that would enjoy this so much, I think of you specifically.
I got it.
You didn't like it?
No. I think
No?
maybe it's because I didn't read the Superman and the Authority stuff.
You didn't really need that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This has made me appreciate that series more, but I don't think that made me appreciate this more.
Yeah. Like this, Johnson and Morrison are not similar writers in this regard. Johnson does stuff as an author that you're just like, how do you have like the capacity in your brain to like hold on to this? Because it's like characters, plot, the world around it, the culture around the world around it, the universe of that world around it. Like he thinks in layers. His brain is an onion, and he is an ogre, and he's my favorite ogre.
Yeah, that opening scene where that alien's like writing in its little journal, that was great.
Ugh. So good.
I feel like the way this is a fantasy book.
Yeah, it's a fantasy sci-fi story.
When he sees like the person chained up with a sign on its neck and he went and like ripped it down, but then they get to the planet and there's so many more and they're just like leading the way.
Yeah.
Did you guys play Fallout New Vegas?
Yeah, a little bit.
Did you get Fallout 3? I never got around to Vegas.
In New Vegas, like there's this dictator called Kaiser.
Yeah.
And you get to like his area and it's like this where you just got like it all lined with like people who are crucified.
Yeah.
Spikes even impaled.
Yeah.
Brutal.
I don't know. I feel like War World has gotten bigger as we've gone through the year. Like the Future State issue, painted it as like the largest space station with layers and levels and whatnot.
That's no moon.
Yeah, but now it's really actually become like an entire planet versus like a space station.
Yeah. Well,
so I think it's just kind of grown in size over the year.
I mean, if you look at the Bendis run at the end of that as well, the Mongols' War World was a planet as well. It's just that I think that they've been expanding upon it with the satellites and essentially the matter of the actual growth of it itself. Maybe that's an artistic choice. I don't know. But it always has seemed fairly big to me. And the setup for Mongol at the end of Bendis's run leading into this, Johnson took the keys to the car and he's like, I'm not just going to drive this bitch. I'm going to fucking mod the shit out of this and make this the best fucking thing you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just wondering if now that we're actually going through the story, if everything from like Future State's going to just be overwritten, all of like the say the lamplighter or who's the guy in black?
The Englishman?
No, the
Midnighter.
Midnighter. There's lamplighter and Midnighter, right?
No, Lamplighter is a character from The Boys.
That's fucking right.
Apollo.
Sorry. Apollo.
Yeah.
Their whole thing.
It's Superman and Batman if they were gay for each other.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, they get separated at some point, and Midnighter is just portaling around Warworld until they face off against each other again. Like everybody on this team we know is going to get like separated. Superman's going to lose the entire team and basically be stuck in this Coliseum.
Yeah.
Like we've already seen what's going to happen.
Yes, but we also know that, as is the case with other stories we've seen with the Future State, those...
It's not. It's going to
diverge. Not destiny.
Yeah.
Which we've seen with several other series right now, where it's it's a potential future, and this is the idea of what's going to happen. I mean, why?
It's annoying that like it wasn't something that fits into continuity. It's just, here's a preview of what's to come, but this isn't set in stone.
I mean, I don't really have an issue with
It
that.
was just a load of 5G stuff that got repurposed.
Yeah, basically.
It's kind of the possible future unless they, like, there'll be a diverging point. Like in Batman, we had that point where
is Wonder Woman's intervention the turning point in some of these somehow?
Maybe.
Or is Trunks going to come travel back in time?
Save the future.
Well, in Batman, we had that moment where in Future State, Jonathan Crane was working with the magistrate, and in the main book, he was offered that chance, and instead he turned on the magistrate and took down Peacekeeper. And it feels like there's a point where it could go one way, but there is that diverging point, and you can see how it could have gone down that way.
Yeah.
And maybe in the Future State book for this, it could have been if he decided to go without the authority and just go on his own to face Mongol.
Maybe.
Which would make sense, actually,
hypothesizing.
because in the War World book, it didn't seem like Superman went with
I feel like
else.
they're going to get separated because even then, like we said, Midnighter and Apollo are already there in some of the other Future State, like back matter stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to throw out one of my favorite moments in this is when there's a conversation about Superman having so much care and compassion for every single life. I loved that. I loved that so much. And like her curiosity about, I think it's Steel's curiosity about like how can she learn to be that way, to have so much love and care for every single creature in existence. And that's the essence of Superman. And that's why I loved that so much. Also, the fact that he has to come down and challenge an entire culture of slavery. Man. I'm just so looking forward to this saga. I'm really looking forward to this. This is the first time that I've read a Superman book where I'm like, I need this.
Really not any of the past arc?
The other stuff has been fantastic, but this is the stuff that I've been like, oh.
This is where it's been leading to.
Yes. This is the stuff that is like, tears the knife in my heart, rip it out, seppuku, stab it all the way through, rip my heart out and kick it on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem is that like I don't really have any attachment to the rest of this ensemble cast, just Superman.
I mean, I don't really either, but I think
I'd recommend reading that Authority one-shot from last week.
Yeah. Agreed.
Because that will kind of introduce you to them, and that was just a really good issue written by Phillip Kennedy Johnson as well.
Yeah.
You don't need the Grant Morrison series, really.
No, not really.
All my fucking money.
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
Just drop Deep Beyond.
I don't know if that's done. It's probably done.
He doesn't even know anymore.
You've been beating on that drum as long as we've been beating on the 5G drum.
I've been beating on that drum as long as I've been beating it.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, one single line in this book.
Rock and roll.
Been a long time since I rock and roll.
Yeah, you got it. You gotta one up me, don't you?
Yeah, I'm a one-upper. I'm a piece of shit. I'm sorry.
You gotta one up me on calling yourself out.
Yeah, it's true.
One single line in this managed to retcon the Grant Morrison series into fitting.
Well, it didn't make any sense before because we're all like, what the fuck is happening? But then it just like one line. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we should probably just mention was he has radiation poisoning from that first initial arc.
Yeah.
And he is dying, has grey hair, but Enchantress has been keeping him together.
Mm-hmm.
What was the initial arc?
Where John Kent's like narrating, he's like, oh, like something happens now where you leave Earth or you die or something. And
so where did he get the radiation poisoning from?
From that alien. Jumbo, like Amanda Waller, like had that alien that they ended up like blasting through into a different universe.
Yeah, he almost gets in the other universe.
He got radiation poisoning from that, I guess.
It was the combination of traveling through, but go ahead.
He got hit by the beam, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, we already know that he's being exposed to the constant radiation of the sun in this universe, our universe, and that's what gives him his powers. But if you're exposed to an opposing form of radiation, much in the same way that kryptonite would affect him, it will cause radiation sickness and poisoning. Or at least that's what Kennedy Johnson has said before. So
I'm going to give this an 8.5.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
Oh, Josh is going to give it a 6.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I'm not gonna be that bad.
5. 4.
4.
That's it. You're gonna down bid me?
4.25.
Yeah, maybe like a 7.5.
I'll give it a 4.20.
You would.
6.9.
Get out of me. I was just gonna say that.
I wish Sex Criminals was still running and I actually read it so I could just rate that every issue 6.9.
Josh, I'm actually curious. Like, what is it about this that's making you be like, I'm just not feeling it?
Like I think I already expressed a lot of that.
Yeah,
I just
isn't
don't care
attached
for
to the
this
cast.
ensemble. Like, yeah, I'm not attached to it. So I'm not really attached to the ensemble. I don't really care for rewriting something that's already been stated. Like, I need to have a reason for why things are happening different than what we had seen before. Other than like, I just felt like writing it differently.
Yeah, because Tyler, you got to remember, Josh didn't read the Grant Morrison one or last week's issue. So the first he saw of them was when they were introduced at the end of that issue, the last issue.
I can't.
In the
I need
alleyway,
to just be able to read one
this.
line of comics and not have to worry about outside extenuating issues.
Yeah, this is basically the first issue he's had where they've been introduced.
Pretty much.
Because they were introduced in like the back page or 2 pages of the last issue.
Whatever.
Okay. Well, what was your score?
I said 7.5.
Oh, I totally missed that. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we can move on to Venom #1 then.
Yes, Venom #1 by Ramby, Al Ewing, and Bryan Hitch.
Yeah. What a banger of a first issue. I didn't think that I was going to like this much. I knew I was going to be excited for it, but...
Yeah, this very much continued Kate's run.
Yeah, it does,
Yeah.
But Al Ewing's sci-fi style of telling his stories is unique, and obviously we see that with We Only Fight Them When They're Dead. Ramby is writing the portion with his kid. Oh my god, what's his name?
Dylan.
Thank you. Dylan Brock, as he's being kind of growing into himself and getting used to bonding to the Venom symbiote. But this is being written by 2 different authors, and they're telling opposing stories, and they pair each other really well, and it doesn't feel like whiplash reading the difference of stories between these 2.
No, it's seamlessly done.
Yeah.
So we have the story of Dylan going about his day, going to school, dealing with life without Eddie, and we have Eddie in space saving lives from everyone who was kind of scared by Null.
Space.
The final frontier.
We are introduced to a new villain of sorts. We don't know who the villain is or what the villain is. All we know is that they have the ability to possess one of the symbiotes, causing them to have singularly small red eyes.
Because we should mention Eddie is now the God in Black.
Yes.
So he is in every symbiote's mind simultaneously. He can take over them, like,
He is
Pardon me, just going to take this body over real quick.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah, basically, literally.
Yeah. He's omnipresent, I guess, is
Yeah,
because he can just travel in between the bodies with his mind, so he has the ability to do that. However, we also have the revelation where he tries to look back in time in a way, using the minds of some of the other symbiotes, and he gets exposed to not only what has happened in the past, but a potential future. And
yeah, we get a few little teasers on this place. On this page, one is setting up the end of the issue with helicopters. One is a seemingly new symbiote carnage type thing called Bedlam. We have Kang sat in his little chair, and he says, "I tell you this as your oldest friend, Edward. You cannot win." Yeah. So that's interesting.
So Bedlam is the mutant name of Jesse Aronson from Factor X X-Force. I don't really know what else to mention from that. Bleeding Cool is the one who reported on that and mentioned it, but it's a mutant Venom symbiote thingy thing that's living on Krakoa, and I don't really know what else to understand from that. Comics, whatever.
I spotted an art mistake.
What's that?
In the directly next page after the Bedlam page, look at the phone and then look at the text box is on that panel and tell me what the problem is.
I have to actually get the book out. Hang on. At what point?
Just the next page after him going through time seeing Bedlam and decay.
What am I looking at here? I'm
The
seeing, yeah, now calling Dylan. Then what?
His phone is receiving a call from Dylan, but the narration is telling him to call Dylan.
No, he's calling Dylan. It says, "Damn it, it's going to voicemail." He's trying to call Dylan.
But the phone is Dylan calling him.
Is this like an iPhone sort of thing?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I see what you're saying. It is very strange.
Yeah, the phone has Dylan calling, accept, decline, but the actual narration saying,
You're right. You're right.
I need to call him. Damn it, he's not answering.
Yeah, art mistake. Bryan Hitch, he's in a rush constantly.
Unreadable.
This is a great issue 1. It has a great setup of the characters and what's going on, introduction of the new villain, the new status quo for these characters, and it does a really good job of foreshadowing the future plots. What's more is the following back matter, like extra issue following. There's like a.
I just want to talk about the end. Eddie Brock dies.
He does. He's actually officially dead. His rotted fucking corpse is picked up, and you get his smoldering, ashy bones.
Here comes the smolder.
Here comes the smolder.
Yeah. This set up the series in a great way. I assume when this is finished, you could read Donny Cates' run all the way through this run, and it would read seamlessly.
Probably. This new character, though, I'm very curious about because it reminds me of that gold
another
character.
god of the symbiote.
Something, but it reminds me of the gold character from the Hickman run of Avengers. Oh, you never read that?
No.
It's one of the
design reminds me of that xenomorph they teased in the first arc of Alien.
Oh yeah, you know what? I could see that.
Because it's got all the prongs coming off its head.
And a human face, yeah.
Yeah.
I could totally see that. One criticism I have is, and this is a really dumb thing to be critical of, I really wish that they would make Venom's chains black instead of looking like metal.
Yeah.
I just don't like that it looks like metal. If he's making the chains themselves...
Tyler, kids love chains.
Yeah, they do. I love chains. Listen, we love it. We love it, but make them black. I want to paint it black. I see the metal and I want to paint it black. Shall we do ratings?
8.5.
I agree. I wouldn't disagree with that in the slightest. I would also say 8.5. This was a fun issue. Yeah.
I'm someone who's never cared about Venom. I didn't like him in Spider-Man 3. I didn't like him. I didn't even see his new movies. I've never really cared about the character.
Yeah.
Donny Cates' run made me care about him, and this run has kept gas on the pedal.
Yeah, absolutely. Cannot agree more. Shall we do I'm gonna take a second and pause the show right here and just ask, do we want to do a series of shout-outs where we just talk about the titles of the books? We can just say what we read and that's it.
Pretty much. Nope. I just want to say how right I was about Alien.
Well, what I was thinking was I was just going to say something along the lines of I read Unbelievable Unteens this week. That's it. So if you guys want to cut it, we can. I don't know. I mean, you seem like you really...
Let Josh brag.
Yeah.
Let him have his moment.
I'll go through the other things real quick.
My concept of time is really wobbly right now. All right, give me a second and go ahead.
All right. So who wants to go? You want to go through your shout outs first? Or you want me to go through my stuff?
All I was just going to say, all I read this week was Unbelievable Unteens #4. It finalized the storyline. And that's it.
All right. We all read Undiscovered Country number 17, issue right before the end of the story arc. So going into that strong, I guess. We got Alien number 8. So it's the second. That's not coming through at all. The light sucks. So I called a big spoil. I called something out in the first issue. So maybe Salvador LaRocca is a good artist. Who knows? I got John Leguizamo's, I think, first foray into comics. Phenom X. Maybe skip on that. That's $7. It's a lot. It's enough pages, but eh. And I think we all read May's book number 3. We're halfway through the series, and maybe we're finally getting to something.
Yeah, okay. It looks like next issue is going to start the actual.
Hopefully, we kind of got just a little bit of the maze, a little bit more of the maze in this.
Cool.
We thought we were going to enter the maze in this issue, and
we did.
We're just about getting there.
Sure. All right.
Was this a 5 or 6 issue run?
One of those two.
I think it's a 5.
Okay.
Sean, did you have anything else that you read this week?
I don't know. Did we have enough stuff to read this week?
God, seriously.
Everything was really big this week as well. We had a Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, which I still think it's strong. It definitely explained a lot more about the character's backstory in this issue.
Good character
and
building.
gave a bit more of motivation, because the first issue was very blind. We also had Ordinary Gods, which
I forgot to mention that one.
Still fine.
Yeah.
Not good, not bad, just kind of.
Yeah.
I'll give it until.
I don't know why I'm still on that.
I'll give it until the end of the arc.
All right.
What's your pick of the week?
It's difficult.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm probably gonna go with Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body. I got higher hopes for that. I mean, they're both really good, but I think I'm maybe just a little bit more excited about Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body. They've got potential.
I'm going with What's the Furthest Place from Here. I think I preferred the overall quality of Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body, but I just think What's the Furthest Place from Here is set up a lot, and I'm intrigued by the world.
Yeah. It can branch out farther. We kind of know where they're going to go with.
It feels like a Walking Dead epic where we're going to meet these civilizations and meet these new characters. Yeah. And it's kind of what Undiscovered Country could have been, where we're going to all these different worlds, but it's just not doing anything interesting there.
Yeah.
Whereas What's the First Place from Here, we've got all these cool characters and they're on the hunt for someone. Yeah.
It's not as abstract as Undiscovered Country.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna go with Action Comics 1036. It's the one that is.
I was expecting Venom.
I really enjoyed Venom, but Action Comics is the one that's making me sit right here in my chest with these emotions, and that's what I want to feel. So I'm gonna choose that. Shall we talk about what's coming out next week?
Not much.
We've got a few bits. We've got the final issue of the first arc of Nice House on the Lake.
Hell yeah.
Sorry,
1, 2,
Previews
3,
World
4, 5,
doesn't
6,
show me
7,
all the
8,
DC
9, 10.
stuff. Maybe not the Marvel stuff either.
Ooh. The cover for this one has a different symbol on the front added in.
Dude, what?
Yeah. So that's something we're all very excited for.
Is it like the new artist symbol?
It's a hexagon.
Is it a circle? Hexagon.
Hexagon.
I was like, shit, what's the name of a 6-sided shape?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
We've got Dark Ages number 3.
Oh, okay.
Are you guys still digging that?
I'll pick it up.
Okay. Something Josh is very excited for. We have.
I swear to God.
Oh no, never mind. I'm wrong. Well, he's still very excited for it. We've got issue 10 of Deep Beyond, which I thought was the last issue, but it's not.
No, there's 12.
Yeah, they do the 12 issue thing.
We have something I'm very excited for, which is Radio Apocalypse number 1 by Ram V, his new creator-owned book from Vault.
I gotta check that out.
We all had high praise for The Many Deaths of Layla Starr.
Yeah. Okay, I'll check it out.
Wonder Woman Evolution by Stephanie Phillips.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm a fan of her
I'll lead
writing.
through it. Probably.
Yeah. It's an 8-issue mini.
Oh. I'll think about it.
Okay. I'll probably check out issue 1 of that.
Yeah.
We have Superman Son of Kal-El number 5.
Okay.
And this is the first issue with the Pride banner on it.
Mm-hmm.
And
But this isn't.
Well,
the
this
one
is going to
that
be the one.
everyone.
Yeah.
Is this the
Yeah.
one? Okay.
Yeah.
Neat. Wait for see that flare up again. on
Yeah,
Twitter.
you're kidding. Okay, cool.
we also have Primordial number 3,
Mhm.
which seems
Alright.
very fast considering the last one only came out last week.
Well, it's got
Well,
delayed, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was supposed to come out like October 20 something, so it's like maybe a week early.
Okay. Whether we
Uh,
actually get
have
that or not.
King. Yeah, we got King the Conqueror number 4. I don't know if you guys are still gonna get that.
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
League of Comics is still showing Decorum number 8 out this week.
No,
But we
Sure.
that's
on the
November
actual
24th. We're so close. We're so
Is it
close,
November
guys.
24th?
On previews where it shows November 24th.
Oh, we're showing that on the Image website as well.
Yeah.
I thought it got delayed to
maybe,
December.
maybe.
Yeah, because I sent a message 5 days ago saying December 8th now,
Oh my god.
but now it seems to have re-updated to be
Yeah. Got to get
10
your
days.
hopes up just to dash.
guys.
Uh,
Next week, when we're talking about the following week's issues, we're going to be saying Decorum number 8 on that, and maybe the week after, maybe the week
you
after.
know what?
We're gonna,
Maybe it'll
No,
come
no,
out on
no.
Sean-
No, no, no.
Maybe it'll come
No,
out on
no,
Sean's
no, no.
birthday.
We're done talking about Decorum. I'm done talking about Decorum. Moving
Let's
on.
talk about.
I'm
talk
so
about
tired.
Sean's birthday.
I'm so tired of Decorum 8 constantly being delayed.
I'm going to
done
read
with
it on my birthday.
I swear to God. All right. Is there anything else?
think
I
that's it.
think that was it.
All right, we're going to wrap up the show here and call it good. Thank you for checking us out. If it's your first time hopping on here, if you've been a loyal follower of ours, thank you very much as well. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all the podcast locations. Thanks to Anchor.fm. You can go to Anchor.fm or Patreon to give your monthly contributions where we will take your money. You can enter our Discord chat. First person who asks to enter into our Discord chat, I will let you in for free. It's no problem whatsoever. And thank you, Anchor.fm, for supporting us. You can check us out on... or you took me out on TikTok at Tyler Brown is here. Be safe, be smart, get vaccinated, wear your mask. What do you want to say?
Smash the like and subscribe button.
I hate you so much. And on that note, we're going to call it good. Thank you for checking us out. Be smart, stay safe, all hail, and have an awesome rest of your night.